Welcome back to the Vulnerability School podcast. I am your host, Jenna Jarvis, and if you're new here, this podcast is all about being vulnerable and how it's cool, and that we're just so much more similar than we are different. And really, I feel like coming home to yourself. That's like my main thing with all my events and podcasts and everything that I do is just my intention is to help people come home to themselves. So, today I'm just kind of doing a little update on life because I did ayahuasca and then I went to Burning Man, and the last episode I did was on my prep for ayahuasca, and I haven't done the recap episode of ayahuasca yet. It just seemed so overwhelming to put all of that into one episode. And so I've been putting it off, but I'm like, girl, let's just show up and do this episode and we can do a little ayahuasca recap later. I'll get into a little bit of how it was and a little bit of Burning Man. There's just so much that goes into everything that today's just a little recap episode. A little recap. Then we'll do the big recaps later. I'm currently house sitting, so if you're on YouTube and you can see this cat, this is Miso, and she's perfect. I'm obsessed with her. Holy shit, guys, I feel like a new person. Going to ayahuasca and then Burning Man 1 week later is insane. And I've just learned so much about myself, and it's so beautiful, and I feel really lucky, so beyond blessed. So, a tiny recap of ayahuasca. What my intention was going into it with a lot of my ceremonies was I'm like out of breath because my camera wasn't working, so I had to run downstairs and run back up. But my intention going into ayahuasca was to feel worthy of healthy love and to be able to accept that. And holy shit. My trips were just insane. The first night, so I did it 3 nights. Last time I did ayahuasca, I did 4 nights. First night I did this, I didn't feel the medicine. I just fell asleep, which they call it a nada. And one thing I do remember, which I still don't know what to make of this, hopefully it's just in my future, I guess. I had this one vision before I fell asleep of a girl that was pregnant, and she was holding an ultrasound, and that's it. And I'm not pregnant. So we'll see what that was. I don't know. Then the next night, my intention was, and I'll get into this more on another episode, my intention was to be able to just feel worthy of love. I remember my OCD, I was having so many crazy thoughts. Nothing compared to when I did ayahuasca a year ago, because that's like the main reason I went, was because my OCD was just through the roof. I had this one specific vision. I kind of, until you're able to surrender to the medicine, you can't throw up, you can't go to the bathroom, you can't what is the word I'm looking for?
The word I was looking for was purge.
Until you fully surrender, you can't really drop in. You're almost fighting the medicine a little bit, and that's totally what I was doing. I was just fighting, and I couldn't figure out. It's almost like you have to unlock this code, get through, and really surrender and get into the medicine. But it was just so chaotic in my head, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I was having all these really negative thoughts about myself. So negative. Just you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you don't deserve to be here, you're a narcissist, you have horrible intentions, all of these things. And I just was sobbing. I was like, what is going on and why am I having all these thoughts? And I had this voice come to me and it was like, Jenna, these aren't your thoughts. These are the thoughts of everyone you've ever dated. And I was like, oh. Or thoughts I learned to believe about myself from their actions. And that hit me so hard. And I just saw myself in this cage. I was literally in this cage, and it was in this cage of what all these people had thought of me, and how being a people pleaser had just kept me in this cage. And that night in ayahuasca, I was very in my masculine energy because I saw myself in this cage, and I was like, holy shit, Jenna, you're letting all these people in your life win. You are letting them win. You're letting them take over. You're letting them be in control of your life. You're letting them create all of these negative beliefs about you, and it's only hurting you. And it was just such a big realization for me. So yeah, I just got very my masculine energy, and I was like, no, we're not staying in this box anymore. We're getting out. Another thing I'd felt during this is I just felt my entire life I've just been seen as an object and not a human, a body, not a soul. And I was just in this trip, I was just so fucking sick of it. I was like, I am not just a body. Like, I'm so much more than this. And I hate feeling like I've been objectified by men. Just so many thoughts, especially growing up Mormon and creating these belief systems in my brain of like, my only value is to please men. And I have to dress according to how men want me to dress, but not, I can't show too much skin because I don't want to create bad thoughts. And just so many negative beliefs I'd had. That's not who I am. Like, that's totally not who I am. And I don't think I'm a narcissist, and I don't think all these negative thoughts about myself. I actually really love myself. I needed to slice off this layer of all this negativity. And so, yeah, I became so aggressive in this, and I was just like, this isn't fair. And I was just so mad. And I was like, I have to protect myself. No one else is coming to protect me. I have to protect myself. And it was a really beautiful realization. And so that was that night. And in the recap, when I do an ayahuasca recap, I'll go into way more detail because I'll like look through all my notes, watch all the videos I recorded, and just really get into it. But that was my biggest takeaway from that first night. And then the second night, like, still didn't feel like that made me feel like I was worthy of receiving love. Only to a certain extent, but still, I've just felt like there's been this a little bit of a block in my life with feeling worthy of healthy love. That's definitely been shown in the relationships I've stayed in that didn't serve me and that people that didn't treat me right, you know? Yeah, I just went into it like I just want to feel worthy of love. And the people I went with were incredible. A lot of the people I went with were family. And a lot of people I went with had also already done ayahuasca, and they just weren't scared of the medicine. So it really broke down these walls for me. I just didn't feel as scared as I usually would, like I did in my first ceremonies when I was in Costa Rica. And this time I was in Arizona at like a retreat center. So it made it seem like ayahuasca wasn't scary. It was just sacred. It totally changed everything for me. And these people were just so loving. They completely felt like family. They totally took me in, and they just became some of my best friends. Just seeing such like healthy family dynamics. There was literally a grandma doing ayahuasca with her kids and her grandkids. That's a dream, a motherfucking dream. Okay. And just being able to witness all of this was so beautiful, and hear all of their insights and their breakthroughs was just everything I really needed, even a different aspect of feeling worthy of love. So then we go into the second ceremony, and that's my intention again. And I'm just, again, there was just so much chaos in my mind, and I like couldn't surrender. And then I just got presented and just flooded with the love that I've dreamed of my entire life. Since I was little, just maybe not watching the healthiest dynamics of marriage and relationships, I've always had this little belief inside of me of like, I'm not worthy of healthy love. That's never going to happen for me. Like I used to always say when I was little, my biggest fear, people would say like spiders or heights, and I'd just be like, divorce. Like that's always just been in the back of my mind. Anyways, I just had like these visions of this love that I've craved for my entire life. I need to do a full episode on this too. Something that I'm really big into is manifesting your dream partner. I do that in so many ways. Like I have a note page in my phone where I write notes to my future partner all the time. When I ended like my past relationship that was really toxic, I like wrote notes to my future partner of like, I'm doing this because I believe in us. Like I believe in a healthy future. And it just helped me so much mentally be like, oh, this is what I want, not this. And I've made a list of exactly what I want in a person, down to the T, so that when they come, I will recognize them and I will know them. I've made playlists of how I know that like my future relationship is going to feel. I've experienced like the energy of I call it my magic partner, in ketamine, in ayahuasca, during plant medicine trips with mushrooms. I've just experienced this feeling, and I know it's real. I absolutely know, like zero doubts in my mind. I've just experienced it so many times. Like I had a specific experience on ketamine where ketamine therapy, when I did ketamine therapy, there was like this orbit of silver, kind of like white. And it was like, this is familiar love. This is what you've been used to your entire life. And then there was like this gold orbit above it, and it was higher love. This is the love that you want. This is the love that you need. This is the love that your soul is craving. God, it makes me emotional because like I've just felt it so strong, and I literally will never settle for anything less. And my whole ayahuasca trip this night was all about that love. It was so beautiful and so safe and sacred. And it was just beyond anything I could have ever dreamt of. Um, and because, like, really, like, I have a little tattoo right here. I'm a lover girl, I'm such a lover girl, and it's really led me to be treated very poorly because I love people so much and I see the best in everyone. And something I've realized is after I was engaged when I was like 21. I've talked about it on here, but after my engagement, I just became super numb. Super numb. I dated someone else after and I just was not very good to them and didn't like get them little gifts or write them little notes or show up in the ways that I would naturally. I just became super avoidant. And I made a promise to myself after I healed through that and broke up with that guy and went to therapy and all these things that I would never allow myself to become numb again because I hated who I was when I was numb. But then, like, I've just been in other relationships where it was toxic on both ends, whether that was from me or it was from them. And I've just really made this effort to not allow myself to become numb. But I've just also really never experienced a healthy relationship. So, yeah. But this night I did. I really experienced it and I just felt so loved. And it felt like the entire room was in on this. But it was crazy because also it was like I was giving birth to this idea of love and I couldn't accept it. It was like there was a door and I had to open it, but I did not want to open it. And I was just like refusing to open this door and like actually receive this healthy love. I'm not joking. For like 6 hours, I was just like, no, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. And I was just stuck in this. Like, I literally went to the bathroom and it was literally like I was giving birth. And I was just so deep in this medicine and I could not surrender to this idea of fully being loved. And it was crazy because it was like everything I've ever wanted, but I was just fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. It was so heavy, but it really showed me so much in my life. I want to feel worthy of this love, but I don't even think I was at a point to be able to accept that love. And it's taught me so much, so much. Like my whole focus after that ayahuasca journey has been like, okay, how can I accept love? How can I feel worthy of this love? How can I allow this to come into my life? And there is just so much more to that, and I'll get into it later. But after that all happened, it was kind of confusing. I just went through everything with ChatGPT. What is going on? This was the most insane night of my entire life. I'm just feeling so confused. And ChatGPT was just like, you just need to surrender, just trust. And it was just so frustrating. Like I wanted answers immediately. So, anyways, end up going home, kind of integrate during that week. And then I go to Burning Man, which, holy shit, guys. The best experience of my entire life. I would say it was as impactful, if not more, as ayahuasca. So insanely beautiful. Like I had no idea. My friend Ben just invited me because he was like, you would love Burning Man, you need to come. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And it was just magical. It's just a ton of adults there, all their walls coming down and just running around like little kids. It literally felt like I was in Neverland. Oh, just so beautiful. Like truly no words. I wish everyone could experience it. And I hope that you do if you're listening to this because it was pure magic. Pure magic. And I met my soul people. And it's so crazy because I've just been trying to work through this. Why can't I feel worthy of love? Why can't this? And I've made some really hard decisions, like ending my past relationship that I was so comfortable in, even though it was so horrible for me, or allowing friendships to go, even though I want to fight for them, but they're just maybe not healthy for me. And I've been really trying to have clear boundaries with people and showing up for myself and saying no and doing all the things. And there was this one night I met this guy, his name's Ben. He's like forever one of my favorite people ever. And he said to me, he's like, Jenna, you just really seem like someone that's had to make a lot of hard decisions in her life and now you're being rewarded. And I was like, boom. Like, it was just so beautiful the way he worded that. And I just felt it so deeply to my core. Holy shit. Yes. And every interaction I had at Burning Man was so magical. There's 80,000 people. 80,000 people. It becomes the third largest city in Nevada. And I would run into the same people multiple times, which is actually insane. Like, that doesn't even happen to me in Utah, you know? But I would just keep running into these same people that I just felt so beautifully aligned with. I did do plant medicine there, which was so beautiful because you're there for like, I was there for like 7 days. And it's just, you do this beautiful medicine. You go around to all these pieces of art structures and all these things. For me, before I ever did any, plant medicine or MDMA or any of those things, I always was like, oh yeah, I don't do drugs recreationally, only spiritually. But like, this was so spiritual. Running around like little kids with your friends on plant medicine and just having your walls down and like being able to experience such a deep joy was beautiful. And it's crazy because everything at Burning Man is free. Everyone just offers things to each other, and there's no VIP section. Everything is just so open. Yeah, there's so much that happened there, and a lot of it is a little bit personal to me, which I'm usually very open about everything, but maybe in future episodes I'll share a little bit more. But like that love that I've been seeking my entire life, Burning Man taught me, like they always say you need to become your own dream partner or whatever, but Burning Man taught me that I genuinely want to become that and that it is so possible. Burning Man taught me that I am so worthy of love. I'm so worthy of living my wildest dreams. We're there and hanging out and partying with people that are just millionaires and that have followed their dreams, that are so successful. And the difference between them and other people that are not doing that and like living their dream is honestly just delusionally believing in yourself and believing that you can achieve those things and then working so hard to achieve those things. It just I don't know, flipped a switch in my mind. Like, it's so much more simple than I think. And another thing I've been trying to work through is like my mindset around money, which I've kind of realized in my life, at least, like my love block and my money block are kind of one and the same. Every time you come, you leave, or like, I feel like you don't want me, or I don't feel worthy of you. And I've just been talking to ChatGPT a ton about this, of like, it is kind of the same thing because it's both tied to worthiness. And yeah, to sum it up, like those people like really changed my life and I love them so much. I hung out with them again as I've been back, and so many of them are from Salt Lake, and like it's just really made me believe that my life is so catered for me and that the universe absolutely has my back and that magic does exist if you believe it, and if you fully believe it and trust and just surrender and let go of the things that don't serve you and just become your own dream partner. Even if you're in a relationship or you're married, like become that person that you want. Since then, I've always been boy crazy, absolutely boy crazy, literally since I came out of the womb, I swear. And literally after this week doing at Burning Man, I've realized that I don't want to date anyone right now and that I actually want to go inward, which I've said that before, but I always am kind of like entertaining people on the side. But it really just unlocks something in me of like, no, like I absolutely want to go inward and become who I'm looking for. And I even decided like I want to be celibate, which I also used to hear people talk about that. And I'd be like, oh, I just don't like really understand. But now I'm like, no, I get it. Like, I just want to keep all my energy for myself. And I'm practicing something called sexual transmutation. And it's like where you take your sexual energy and when you're feeling it or whatever, you kind of bring it up. You imagine it going up through your body and out through your hands, like into your creative work or like into your mind to give you more momentum and drive and motivation. And it's been really beautiful, and it just made me feel so divinely connected to myself and to a higher power. I just feel so lucky. And another thought I had when I was at Burning Man is if you grew up Mormon and you delusionally believed in the LDS church, the Mormon church, your entire life, like so delusionally, I literally never questioned it once in my entire life until I was 26. That faith is insane. And I have just been like, you know what? If I could have that much faith in something that is not true to me and I could not prove to be true, but if my life has proven again and again and again to become better and better and better and so catered for me, why don't I delusionally take all of that faith and energy and put it into my dream life and becoming who I want to be and knowing that I'm going to achieve that? And it really has shifted a lot for me, so much. And this week is right before my period, which I'm usually pretty emotional. And I'm emotional, and it's like I've caught myself kind of falling back into my old thought patterns. But I'm like, no, I'm coming back up, and we're going to have this delusional belief. And we are going to achieve what we want to achieve. And we are going to become our dream partner. And it is so, so achievable. And the more that I've done plant medicine, especially ayahuasca or even like anything, like mushrooms or MDMA, like you have to surrender to the medicine. And it's so beautiful because it's taught me to surrender so much more in my life. And I think one of the biggest factors of surrendering is acceptance. And it kind of just blows my mind when we don't just accept things the way that they are, because from all our past experiences, we know that that's the best way we can move through it. So I've really been trying to implement that in my life. Just accepting situations as they come, even when things aren't working out how I want them to. Just being like, okay, this has happened in the past. And the universe has proven to me, or God, or whatever you believe in, that things are going to work out in your favor. So why would you resist this? Why would you keep hesitating and thinking that some some greater force is out to get you? Because obviously it's not. It's proven again and again and again. And at the same time, literally no one knows anything, and you can choose to believe what you want to believe. And I would way rather choose to believe that the universe is working in my favor than to believe that it's not. Because we really just have two options. And it is insane the way that my life has changed the more that I've surrendered. Getting out of that toxic relationship, ending relationships that haven't served me. I'm really in this phase of only entertaining what I feel so good and clear about and not entertaining anything else. That's why I'm not dating right now, because I'm just like, no, I don't want that energy in my life right now. Unless something insane happened and it just felt so cosmic and aligned, then yes, maybe I would go for it. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like when you meet that person, or when your dream job comes, like you're gonna feel like, fuck yeah, not like maybe yeah, you know what I mean? So right now I'm just going all in on myself, and I know that everything else is gonna fall into place. I know it. I literally know it. And I choose to believe it with all my heart. It's so exciting because I have Healed Girl Fall coming up, and I just get to implement everything that I've learned. And we have so many girls signed up. It's just at the most incredible venue in Highland, Utah. And we're doing ecstatic dance. We're doing breath work. I'm so hyped about ecstatic dance. I know that can be a little intimidating. And hopefully by the time that this is out, there'll still be tickets. So you can sign up, hopefully. But the thing I love about ecstatic dance and why I'm implementing it this time is because I've done a lot of ecstatic dance in Bali and Utah. But recently I went to one with my friend Sarah, and she was like, Jenny, you need to view it as a meditation. And so I just like was moving my body and closing my eyes, and it was the most beautiful meditation I've ever done. And now even when I was at Burning Man, I'm like imagining it as a meditation, and dancing just became so much more beautiful. Just moving your body and flowing, and everyone's just in their own little world. So beautiful and life-changing. So we'll be doing that and have yummy farm-to-table dinner, again, at this most beautiful venue ever. It's sponsored by this app called Stumble, which is amazing, and I'm sure I'll get into that more. And yeah, breath work. We're doing workshops with therapists. My friend Shelb is coming from Texas. She has been living in the Dominican Republic, and now she's coming. She's going to do a little workshop with us. It actually is going to be insane. So if there's tickets available, please go sign up. If not, there'll be more events in the future. I've been doing the Vulnerability is Cool community, which has been awesome. We do a call once a week, and there's just incredible girls in there. You get to show up as whoever you want to be. So if you want more details on that, go check out my website or my Instagram. I don't have more space on my camera, so I gotta end this. But if I could have everyone understand one thing, it would be that the magic is in you. That is my favorite little slogan of all time. The magic is in you, because it really fucking is. And you are so powerful, and you are so worthy of the life that you dream about. You are so worthy of the partner that you dream about. You are so beyond worthy of anything that you dream about. Okay? And I believe that with my entire soul. And I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Tune in next time for a little ayahuasca recap and Burning Man and all the things. And I love you. In the name of vulnerability. Amen.